Maru Sueharu, a renowned child actor, finds himself in a conversation with his crush Shirokusa Kachi, a famous novel author and his classmate. Their exchange revolves around her novel. He praises her for it, and Sueharu feels an unfamiliar stirring in his heart, the first flutters of love.
Yeah, boy.
Sueharu shares his growing feelings with his friend Tetsuhiko. He reveals his plans to confess to Shirokusa during the upcoming Confession Festival, which marks the end of their school's cultural festival. Tetsuhiko tries to make him realize she's out of his league, pointing out the vast differences between them. Tetsuhiko, curious, asks why Sueharu never pursued a relationship with his childhood friend, Shida Kuroha. At this moment, Kuroha appears, and Sueharu tries to run away. Their bond is strained since he rejected her confession. His heart already belonged to Shirokusa. Kuroha dismisses her past confession as a joke, but the mood shifts abruptly when they overhear that Shirokusa is dating Abe Mitsuru. Sueharu, unable to bear the news, flees. Kuroha finds Sueharu by the river, offering comfort and reaffirming her feelings for him. She proposes they seek revenge on Shirokusa and Abe for the pain they've caused. Driven by jealousy, Sueharu agrees. The next day, after watching an interview with Abe about his acting career, Sueharu meets Kuroha to strategize. Kuroha suggests they pretend to date to evoke jealousy in Shirokusa. Sueharu hesitantly consents, and Kuroha attempts to seal the deal with a kiss which makes him nervous, like a loser. Sueharu avoids the kiss, still deeply in love with Shirokusa, and escapes Kuroha's manipulative grasp. Unexpectedly, Abe confronts him, revealing that he remembers Sueharu as the child prodigy actor from their past. Abe reveals that because of him, he started to be an actor, and because his father forced him to be like Sueharu. So right now, he hates him and wants to see him miserable. That's why he started to date Shirokusa, so he will suffer because she's not with him. Sueharu offers to assist Tetsuhiko with the cultural festival play, aiming to outdo Abe. Meanwhile, news of Sueharu and Kuro's supposed relationship spreads, sparking jealousy among Kuro's fan club and Shirokusa. Sueharu seeks Shirokusa's help with the script for the play, and she agrees. Later that evening, Kuro visits Sueharu. They discuss her unusual food preferences and a photo of Sueharu with his childhood friend Shiro. During their conversation, a phone call from Shirokusa about the play interrupts them, revealing Shirokusa's jealousy when she hears Kuro in Sueharu's house. After the call, Kuro also shows signs of jealousy and they both attempt to provoke each other, nearly kissing. But Sueharu's hesitation prevents it from happening. The next day, Sueharu attempts to practice for the play, but for some health reasons, collapses unconscious. He awakens in the nurse's office with Shirokusa by his side. She provides him with a script for the play, but inquires as payment to know why he stopped acting. Sueharu reveals that his mother, an obscure actress, supported his acting career and that she passed away during one of his performances, leaving him an orphan, and he had to stop acting. After sharing this, Shirokusa hands him the script and leaves in a hurry. It's revealed that Shirokusa is actually Shiro, Sueharu's childhood friend. Her father, one of Sueharu's drama sponsors, introduced them, and Sueharu became her only friend. They made a promise to create a movie together, but Sueharu stopped meeting her, leaving Shiro feeling betrayed. Believing their friendship and the promise he made meant nothing to him, she transformed herself into a strong and beautiful woman to make him fall in love with her so one day she can reject him. That way, she can have revenge. However, upon learning the truth about Sueharu's struggles, she regrets her actions. That night, Sueharu and Kuro devise a plan to disrupt Abe's confession to Shiro. Sueharu expresses his gratitude to Kuro, hinting at his growing feelings for her. On the day of the Confession Festival, Sueharu heads to his class because they have set up a Japanese cafe for the cultural festival. There, he interacts with Kuro, much to his classmates' envy, before being summoned by a mysterious figure. On the school stairs, the mysterious person turns out to be Shiro, Sueharu's childhood friend whom he lost contact with 6 years ago. He's so glad to see her again. Shiro is glad, too, to see that he remembers her. She reminds Sueharu of their promise and reveals a significant change. Shiro is now called Shirokusa Kachi. After clarifying their relationship, Shiro encounters Kuro on the school stairs, who declares to Shiro that she hasn't given up yet on Sueharu. This is followed with a conversation that leaves Kuro embarrassed. Kuro then finds Sueharu, and they go on a date to the festival. After their date, Kuro slaps Sueharu, this way ending their fake relationship. She assures him that no matter what happens during the Confession Festival, she will be watching him. At the Confession Festival, Sueharu reaffirms his determination to Tetsuhiko that he wants to win against Abe. During Abe's confession, which is preceded by a singing performance by child star, Sueharu takes the stage, and after an epic performance, he declares that he loves Shiro and that she was his dream for a long time. But instead of confessing his feelings for Shiro, he decides to confess to Kuro, who always was by his side, supporting him. That's why he chooses her and confesses his love for her. Shiro is in deep shock, but Kuro rejects him, having her revenge for that time when he rejected her. This shocks everyone present, including Sueharu. Following the festival, Tetsuhiko and Abe have a conversation. Abe reveals that Shiro's plan was to make Sueharu fall in love with her so she could reject him, but Kuro's presence disrupted the plan, leading to a fake relationship with Abe. Abe admits to being a big fan of Sueharu and willingly played the villain to bring him back on the stage. They're both surprised that Kuro managed to execute a similar plan in less time, but Abe concludes that everyone ultimately lost, as Kuro still loves Sueharu, and Shiro loves him too. That night, Sueharu, Kuro, and Shiro are all grappling with the consequences of their actions and the humiliation they endured during the confession festival. The next day, as the trio remains discouraged, Tetsuhiko reveals that he uploaded the video of Sueharu's rejection to WeTube, where it has gone viral, much to Sueharu's fury. Suddenly, their class receives a visit from the renowned actress Maria Momosaka, who embraces Sueharu in front of everyone. Sueharu explains to the jealous Kuro and Shiro that he and Momo are also childhood friends, with Sueharu being her senpai at their talent agency. Momo then confesses her love for Sueharu and vows to make him forget both Kuro and Shiro, infuriating them both. During lunch, Tetsuhiko apologizes to Sueharu by buying him a pizza, which Sueharu accepts, believing Tetsuhiko did it to support his potential return to acting. Tetsuhiko introduces Rena Asagi, a versatile individual and a middle school friend of his who brought the pizza. Sueharu asks if she offers erotic services, which she denies, teasing Sueharu along with Tetsuhiko. During a conversation, Shiro attempts to invite Sueharu on a date, but quickly backs out and with her friend's help explains that she didn't really mean a date, but just to visit her house because her father wants to see him. Shiro starts arguing with Tetsuhiko about the video when Kuro comes in, but Sueharu is so frightened of her that Shiro warns Kuro to get away from Sueharu. Then she lost her chance to be with him when she rejected him. By the river, Sueharu talks to Tetsuhiko over the phone that he's guilty too about the situation because of when she was refused, because he was thinking he knows how Kuro thinks, but he was mistaken. After the call, Tetsuhiko asks Kuro, who overheard everything, what she plans to do next. Upon returning home, Sueharu is greeted by Momo, who borrowed his house keys from Kuro's mother. While discussing her career, Momo reveals that she has never visited Sueharu again because she lacked an excuse, which she now has. She also mentions that their agency's new president asked her to invite Sueharu and Kuro to a reunion. During their conversation, Kuro's younger sisters arrive at the house. Momo hides, and the sisters tell Sueharu that Kuro has lost her mind and has amnesia. Momo appears, and after introductions, begins to stir things up playfully. Once Momo leaves, Sueharu and the sisters discuss Kuro's condition. Sueharu teases Midori for her lack of femininity, while Akane offers sage advice, which Sueharu appreciates. The next day, Sueharu and Kuro meet in the street and have a heart-to-heart conversation. Despite Sueharu's hesitation, they decide to give their relationship a fresh start. Shiro arrives to pick up Sueharu, bringing Kuro along. Shiro is skeptical about Kuro's amnesia, and so Sueharu decides to put her to a test. During lunch, Sueharu feeds Kuro with octopus wiener, something she normally can't stand. After playfully teasing, Kuro eats it, confirming her amnesia. Then she hugs Sueharu to comfort him over her condition. Shiro, who was spying on their conversation about Sueharu's potential return to showbiz and his invitation to Kuro to join him at Hardy Pro, storms in angrily. While Shiro is supportive and Kuro is opposed, Tetsuhiko proposes an alternative solution. Tetsuhiko suggests creating a WeTube channel where they can all be members. Sueharu likes the idea but insists on first visiting Hardy Pro to discuss his return with the CEO. Everyone agrees to go together. At the reunion, Sueharu and Momo reminisce about their first meeting, recalling how Momo was initially aggressive but won over by Sueharu's talent. The others arrive and meet Shun, the new CEO of Hardy Pro, who presents a lucrative offer to both Sueharu and Kuro. While Sueharu is tempted, planning to use the money for Rena's erotic services, Kuro declines. Shun persists with his offer, offering good money. She refuses it again. Shun mocks Kuro and their parents for refusing his offers. In response, Sueharu pours wine over Shun's head. Shun's insults escalate tensions, nearly leading to a fight with Tetsuhiko, who is restrained by Sueharu. As Shun threatens to call the police, an unexpected visitor arrives, Shiro's father, who mediates the conflict. The group decides to resolve the issue through a commercial contest. Hardy Pro and Ultramarine Channel, backed by Soichiro's funds, will each produce a commercial, with the winner determined by public votes. Despite that Sueharu wants her to be part of their team, Momo aligns with Hardy Pro. The stakes are high. If Shun wins, Sueharu will work for him. If Shun loses, he agrees not to involve the police or sabotage Sueharu's future efforts to go back into showbiz. The next day, the Ultramarine Alliance holds their first meeting to discuss their commercial for a beverage brand. That night, Momo recalls her past, fleeing abusive parents with her sister, Eddie, who works tirelessly to support them. Momo's life changed when she met Sueharu, her mentor, who left show business all of a sudden. The sisters watch Ultramarine Channel's first commercial, which misses the mark by focusing more on the channel than the product. The following night, their second commercial, featuring Acid Snake's new song, is a hit thanks to Sueharu's expertise, and they win the bet. With Ultramarine Channel's victory, Tetsuhiko receives support from Soichiro Shiro's father and learns that Soichiro knows his true identity as Shun's son. Abe reveals that Kuro orchestrated the entire conflict to sabotage Sueharu's return to show business and to get closer to him. Momo announces her plans to attend the same school as her friends, admitting her past relationship with Shun and her desire to be closer to Sueharu, and maybe he'll offer her some love too. She definitely feels she deserves it from him. Kuro and Shido get mad at her from hearing that. Sueharu, feeling overwhelmed, tries to sneak out, but the girls chase after him. With Rena's help, he manages to get rid of them. When Rena questions his friendship with Tetsuhiko, Sueharu explains that Tetsuhiko was the only one without ulterior motives, though this isn't entirely true. Kuro eventually finds Sueharu, and as they walk home together, Kuro admits her memory has returned, revealing that her amnesia was fake. Kuro's revelation that her amnesia was false leaves Sueharu stunned. When he demands an explanation, Kuro refuses to provide one. Furious, Sueharu breaks a long-standing taboo by calling her Black Heart and declares war on her. Meanwhile, Shido calls Tetsuhiko and forms an alliance with him to achieve her goals. At the club, Momo receives a warm welcome. Tetsuhiko outlines the Ultramarine Alliance's membership and rules. Meanwhile, Sueharu enjoys the front view of Rena's nice melons. The girls are enraged seeing that. Oops, he just pretends he wasn't looking. Tetsuhiko is proposing a new swimsuit project for the weekend so that they will go to Okinawa. The girls don't like the idea at all and they want to vote. After they anonymously do that, the swimsuit project wins. Shido accuses Kuro for voting for this project. Maybe she wants to get along with Sueharu, that's why she supports the guys. Kuro denies it, but Tetsuhiko intervenes and makes the thing clear that the votes were anonymous, so no need to blame anyone. Kuro is saying that she cannot go this weekend anywhere because she has to take care of her younger sister. Tetsuhiko tells her to bring her sister with them. This way she can help them with video shooting. Kuro guesses that all this project with swimsuit shooting is a plan made by Shido and Tetsuhiko. Shido denies it and Sueharu tells Kuro to stop blaming Shido. She gets upset that she doesn't believe her. In a conversation between Tetsuhiko and Shido's father, we find out that Rena is his stepsister. Shido calls Tetsuhiko and praises him that the plan went how she wanted, and the final goal is to make Sueharu confess his love for her. Shido and Momo agree to a cooking contest, with Eddie suggesting they prepare local hot pots. Shido, however, insists on making chicken. At a restaurant en route to Okinawa, Momo becomes friends with Rena. They overhear a conversation between Sueharu and Tetsuhiko, where Tetsuhiko suggests Sueharu form a harem to avoid hurting the girls who all want a piece of him. Momo realizes she's last in line for Sueharu's affection and wants to prevent him from growing closer to Shido's heart during the trip. Upon arriving at Kachi's beach house and assigning rooms, everyone relaxes by the pool. Sueharu suggests they all wear the swimsuits and have fun in the pool. Shido doesn't like the idea at all and makes fun of him. Tetsuhiko comes from behind and drops him into the pool. Meanwhile, Kuro is doing housework, discussing the trip with Akane. She is fueling Kuro's jealousy on purpose, as Kuro imagines Sueharu and Momo growing closer and having intimacy, making her really mad. On the beach, everyone including Rena enjoys the fun until Sueharu receives a call from Shido, who wants to show him her swimsuit privately. At a secluded beach, Shido reveals her swimsuit and asks him what his opinion is. He tells her that she's gorgeous and he likes it a lot. Shido gets closer and sits on Sueharu's lap. They both have a nice private moment, and they're about to kiss, but jealous Momo interrupts them with a call telling him that she saw all of that, and that she's about to come on the beach and stop them. She'll never let them have a kiss. Momo runs onto the beach and grabs Sueharu by the leg and accidentally reveals her fake padded chest to everyone. She gets embarrassed and yells at him that she's gonna kill him. Later, Sueharu finds Shiro upset on the beach. She had practiced cooking the hot pot but just can't make it right, which is a shame because it's his favorite dish. After cheering her up and giving her a piece of advice, they grow closer and start to hold hands, nearly kissing each other. But Sueharu, in his old-fashioned style, remembers Aoi's warning and decides not to kiss her. Congratulations on being stupid, man. Kuro is upset with Sueharu for enjoying himself. Rena brings a watermelon to the beach, and while holding it cheerfully on top of her head, her own melons start to dance up and down while Sueharu's eyes follow their trajectory carefully, and he seems happy. Good job there, boy.
Naughty, naughty.
Kuro notices that Sueharu and Shiro are growing closer and decides to deploy her secret weapon. At the beach, Kuro captures Sueharu's attention with her bikini, but Midori teases her about Shiro's superiority in everything, like in everything. That infuriates Kuro and prompts her to call Sueharu for a private talk. In their heated exchange, Kuro reveals a previously unknown sadistic side, repeatedly confessing her feelings to Sueharu by telling him that she loves him at every pace and driving him crazy. During dinner, Sueharu worries about Shiro's foot injury. Midori, being a maid, bandages it. Later that night, Sueharu, unable to sleep, goes to the beach and overhears Shiro's conversation to Meko about her efforts and desire to stay close to Sueharu and help him when he'll be in trouble. Meanwhile, practicing for the clip on the beach, that makes him happy, and he realizes that she thinks the same way he thinks. The next morning, Kuro and Momo notice Sueharu and Shiro's growing closer, and they don't like it at all. During filming, Sueharu insists that the clip is perfect, no need to do more filming. And as Shiro steps off the stage, she stumbles, and Sueharu rushes to catch her, breaking his arm instead. Back at school, Tetsuhiko edits the clip while Abe inquires about the trip. Tetsuhiko reveals that Shiro has the lead. Sueharu and Kuro share a ride with Shiro and her father, who announces that Shiro will move into Sueharu's house to support him until he recovers. Kuro doesn't like the idea that they'll stay alone. Shiro's father tells her that he'll be taken care of for the time being, and Shiro will be accompanied by her maid, Shion. After this, Sueharu has an unholy fantasy involving Shiro where she wants to pay him back for the broken arm, and she offers him a spectacular night where they sleep together. Oops, it's just a dream, dude. Sueharu is then summoned by the girls to discuss his situation. In the living room, all the girls insist on staying the night with him to prevent any other injuries. Both Kuro and Momo receive calls informing them they can't stay, and after they leave, Shiro's maid Shion talks to Sueharu and she insinuates that Shiro only respects him and she doesn't love him. This thought makes him upset, and he thinks that it might be true. At school, Shiro attempts to feed Sueharu. She tries to take care of him like a wife, but he sees Shion at the door and remembers her words and walks away. On the school steps, he encounters Kuro. They have a conversation on the roof and they begin to reconcile. Sueharu playfully provokes Kuro in retaliation, but they receive a call from Tetsuhiko to come to the club, where they receive a proposal from a TV company. The club should create a documentary about Sueharu's exit from showbiz when he was a child till right now when he got back with a new channel, as it's a popular topic and TV will cover it. He also suggests filming the real ending of Child King, Sueharu's last acting role. Sueharu eventually agrees. After this, the girls hold a meeting. Following an argument between Shiro and Momo, Shiro tells them to stop harassing Sueharu. Momo will stop her childish behavior to prevent him from getting more injuries, and Kuro will stop teasing Sueharu with her permanent declarations of love. They also decide to take turns caring for him. Momo proposes an idea for the documentary to interview him at the place where they first met, leading each girl to devise a plan to win Sueharu's heart once and for all. Tetsuhiko discovers a gossip magazine discussing Sueharu's retirement and the way his mother died without his permission, which the group finds awful. During an emergency meeting of the Ultramarine Alliance, Tetsuhiko reveals that Shun is behind the gossip, and Tetsuhiko proposes a counterattack, creating a documentary about Sueharu's life and filming the true ending of the Child King, which he's already sold to a streaming platform. Sueharu approves the plan. The first interview features Sueharu and Shiro revisiting when he took her out from the house for the first time and about their first visit to Tokyo Tower, where Shiro got scared and Sueharu comforted her. They share an intimate moment, almost kissing before remembering they're being filmed. Sueharu proposes that they should visit Tokyo Tower again, which she gladly accepts with excitement. Back home, Shiro is celebrating her small victory and considers this a date and one more step for them to be closer. The next morning, Shiro tries to wake Sueharu, but he doesn't want to wake up. She tries to wake him up with a kiss, but Momo enters the room at that moment, waking him up instead, and wants to change his clothes. Accidentally, Momo touches his abs and likes it, and she tells Shiro to try it too. They like it so much they can't stop touching them. Shion enters the room to catch both girls admiring his abs, but from a distance it looks like they're doing the forbidden job, which embarrasses all of them.
Sensational.
Sueharu tells Shion to stop yelling because the neighbors might get it wrong. Next, Sueharu and Momo proceed to their interview. Momo recalls their past relationship and when she met for the first time Sueharu's mother. They visit the place where Sueharu's mother passed away, and Momo asks about her death. As Sueharu shares his memories and how she accidentally died during the filming, Momo begins to cry when she hears all the detail, missing her deeply. Sueharu tries to comfort Momo, but he too is overcome with emotion and starts to cry too. They embrace each other and both cry. Momo seizes the moment when Sueharu upsets her with some comments on the way she's crying. Momo attempts to steal a kiss from him, but Shion, the self-appointed love police's eyes, doesn't let them have fun and intervenes in time to stop them from having too much of it. They try to bribe Shion with childhood photos of Shiro, which she likes a lot, nearly succeeding, but Shion ultimately kicks Sueharu. The next day at school, Tetsuhiko remains convinced that Shun is behind the media frenzy. He plans to release both the documentary and the Child King finale simultaneously as retaliation. After school, Kuro leads Sueharu to a cave, a former hideout of Sueharu's, following his mother's passing. They recall the day when Kuro followed him there, sharing an intimate moment after growing distant due to his mother's death. Back by the river, they discuss their recent events, eventually apologizing to each other. Kuro confesses her feelings again, but Sueharu delays the response, and this prompts her to retrieve her confession. She sets a rule for herself. If he's thinking for more than 10 seconds, then she won't accept his answer. Acknowledging his potential feelings for Shiro, Kuro agrees to be his secret childhood girlfriend, quote-unquote, acting as a normal friend until Sueharu makes a move on her, or if he ever kisses her, that means they're dating. At the entertainment club, Abe appears to learn about Sueharu's situation. Tetsuhiko reveals that Shiro has lost her advantage, and that Kuro, anticipating rejection, proposed the childhood girlfriend arrangement to go back to the status before the confession festival. Now fully recovered, Sueharu decides to proceed with the Child King ending. After the release of both the documentary and the finale, Tetsuhiko informs Sueharu of his new fan club. In the post-credit scene, the true Child King ending unfolds, where Sueharu's character awakens from a coma, surrounded by the three main girls, portrayed by Kuro, Shiro, and Momo.